Alright, so we're back once again, and today, as you can probably see, we're playing the Daring, the tier 10 British destroyer. And the thing about this game in particular is that it is one of the best games I have played in probably the last couple of months. As you can probably tell from the title, we do get a Kraken in this, but the way in which we get it is a little bit weird, shall we say. But that's for later on in the video. Right now, all we're doing is getting away from the lemming train that's very quickly approaching A, and trying to get ourselves in a more of a central position where we can, affect both flanks effectively. So, when you play the Daring, the thing you want to look out for is the fact that you are incredibly versatile. You can do torping, you can do gunboat, you can do pretty much anything. Really, the only real counter is radar. And I say radar because you may be thinking, hang on, what about aircraft carrier? What about being spotted by planes? What about all these things? Well, the thing is if you look at the consumables, you have 6 smokes. 6 short duration smokes. And the thing about having very short duration smokes is if you get spotted by planes and you see them coming, you can just pop a very quick smoke and, well, you can, I don't know if you'll shred the planes, but you won't be hit by them. And as a result, the effect planes actually have on you are minimized relative to any other DD that I can really think of, with maybe the exception of the Holland. But the Holland's basically an anti-aircraft gun mount on a ship, so there's not much to say about that. We do get radared here, but generally I'm not too worried because both the George's guns and the Bismarcks will be pointed forward at the Musashi, the Vladivostok, the Mogami, and all the ships on the other side of the map. And, well, the radar doesn't last all that long anyways. And a little note here about torpedoing. You never want a torpedo where the grey marker is. You always want to be able to predict, maybe 5 seconds in the future, where that enemy ship's going to be going. Now, as luck would have it, the Z-46 decided not to reverse into my torpedoes, so he is paying attention, and so these torpedoes actually have a decent chance of actually hitting. All the while, I'm just farming free broadsides for absolutely no reason, because these ships shouldn't even be here. The Fletcher and the Mogador did the right thing with capping A, but the Georgia should never be this exposed, or the Bismarck, or the other Georgia. They should be behind this island right here, and engaging, even if they wanted to, in a bow-in engagement against the Vladivostok and the Musashi, which even then probably wouldn't go all that well for them. And as a result of their overextension, they don't last all that long, and I get my first kill of the day. Now, this is the issue with solely pushing one flank and kind of ignoring everything else, and it is the issue with lemming trains. What ends up happening is that basically you push A, and well, it's very, very, very simple for my team, or the green team, just to push or take up a central position on B and batter the hell out of your broadside. Now again, at this point I'm very aware of the fact that the one thing that counters me really hard is enemy ship's radar. And I need to be aware of the fact that if I get radared right now, is there anything that can hit me and potentially end my game right here? No. Even if the Donskoy right now pops his radar, the Hargoon was too far away to even get hit by. The Bismarck potentially has a chance to hit me, but at the same time is going to be very difficult. I can just simply reverse too, so at this point it's just free shots on the Georgia and I'm just farming out my damage. And we're just waiting for the next move in the game, because again, the thing about playing World of Warships is that patience oftentimes wins out over any other thing, any other kind of wholeheartedly aggressive play, any kind of just straight up aggression. Patience seems to win out. Now you may be thinking that's an advocacy for, just steaming straight in and just sitting at the edge of the map and doing nothing. No. That's not what I'm saying. You should still engage. You have to engage, but you should be thoughtful about how you engage. And that's the main takeaway I want you to get from this battle. Again, this isn't really a guide because I don't feel like I'm wholly qualified to provide guide content, although I do have some very beginner guides on my channel, but then you're going to see another classic mistake right here. This is exactly why I'm not qualified to give 100% guide content to people who are average players. Because, well, more often than not, when I make a good play, this tends to happen and I make a bad play. So right now, our main focus is just clearing the Donskoy Hydro. I'm pretty sure it's around 5 to 6 kilometers, so we should be out of range fairly soon. And even so, if he does decide to push into it, he's going to be showing a lot of broadside to our Rachel, which is fine for me. And well, I bounced I think 90% of his shells right there, which was a bit lucky by me, but again, not something I'm all that concerned about. And again, right now, there's a Donskoy Raider once again. So I thought, why not pop? Shoot. Initially I started shooting because we had my smoke between him, the Donskoy, and myself. But now I realized, well, radars pop and detect it anyways, let's just shoot. So we do. And well, at this range right now, about 9 to 10 kilometers, I'm getting about the range where he's going to have a really hard time hitting me accurately. So these are basically gunboating times. Earlier on we had a torp boating moment where, you know, everything was very stationary, nobody was really moving all that much. Now we're being more mobile, we're getting into the game, and we're just trying to deal out as much damage as possible. We are up to about 62,000 damage. We do get a fire on the Donskoy, which is going to help out a hell of a lot. And we do have 2 kills. Now at this moment in time, you shouldn't be thinking of, whoa, I have 2 kills fairly early in the game. I might be able, maybe, to get a Kraken. That's not the way you want to think. The way you want to think is, how much more damage can I do? Where can I do it? How can I safely do it? And how can I be most effective in the game to help my team actually win? Now, as you'll see on the bottom edge of the map, the Hargoon was still having a bit of a struggle trying to cap C, which is kind of surprising considering he's the only ship there. But at the same time, the enemy does have control over A, as our right hand flank somehow seems to have collapsed, probably due to the fact that their entire team pushed A. But with that being said, we're still trying to deal out as much damage as possible, which isn't always easy, and at this point in the game, the 2 big threats are the Mogador and the Fletcher on this left hand flank. Now, in a perfect world I could probably deal with both if they were average players, but at this point I only really feel capable of dealing with the Fletcher. Mostly due to the fact that the Mogador can pack a pretty surprising punch, and well, I'm not too familiar with that ship and how it maneuvers and how it handles, whereas with the Fletcher, I'm very experienced with the Fletcher, shall we say. So being able to predict what it does is a lot easier. At this point though, we're going for a 3rd kill, which again, it feels like a little bit of a kill still to me, but there's so many times in games where the enemy team hobbles away with maybe 2000 HP, goes away, heals up, and then comes back to just devastate my team. I wasn't going to allow that to happen, and as a result we get our 3rd kill. And we're up to 71,000 damage, which is a pretty good destroyer game in general. Generally, destroyer games tend to be around about 80 to 100k, so again, at this point, pretty decent. Now at this point, I make my second mistake of the game. I pull out of the smoke way too early and get spotted by the carrier's planes, which, as I said earlier, wouldn't be all that much of an issue if, again, I use my smoke effectively. But I didn't, and thus I lose a lot of HP. And then the Mogador sees me, and I lose more HP. So it's very easy and simple to start seeing how one mistake can lead into the next mistake, can lead into the next mistake, can lead into the next mistake, and can end up with you losing a hell of a lot of HP and your priority on the game. So luckily we did have a smoke popped, and we do manage to stop ourselves from getting killed by the Mogador. At this point, obviously he fired, so he's still detected by, I think, the Musashi or maybe the Megami. He does go to undetected, which means he gets away, and we're left to farm the Fletcher. Now at this point, still on the game, I've basically contributed to 60% of the team's kills, which is kind of sad, but at the same time, what do you expect? next target is Bismarck. Is kind of isolated, but at the same time, my priority is on A. If I can get A capped, that's a much bigger objective for me than killing a lone battleship on the edge of the map. It literally makes no difference to me. Now, I was going to decide to shoot at the Fletcher there, but he smoked up and I didn't want to be detected. So at this point, I think it's safer and safer to assume that we can push A and maybe, just maybe, torp the Bismarck at the same time. So that's the plan. It tends to work out maybe not all that well, but we give it a go anyways. Right now I'm trying to close distance just because these torpedoes are 10 kilometers and I don't feel comfortable launching these torpedoes like this, because so oftentimes, so often, torpedoes just tend to land just maybe 500 meters just in front of the enemy ships, which is frustrating to no end, because you go from almost getting 4 hits to none or no hits, and getting maybe potentially 40k damage to no damage, which is kind of sad. All the same though, we're going to wait here. The Fletcher does decide to poke his head out, and we're in the perfect position to take advantage of this. If we can actually hit our guns, that is. We do set a fire on him, very luckily, but unfortunately he does get undetected, which wouldn't be ideal, other than the fact that our smoke's about to time out, and he does decide to fall into our radar range. Or not our radar range, our detection range, and that's the 4th kill of the day. Now, I talked about my mistakes a couple of times, and well, that Bismarck made the biggest mistake of the game. And well, I should be saying thank you to him because, well, he allowed me to get my Kraken. If you look at that salvo that he just shot, the very first one, it landed a little bit prematurely in front of me. And well, as a result, of that, he somehow manages to die. Now, I would show you this, but the replay is locked, and I'm not really sure what happened here. But I think my fire that I set on him, if we keep going, manages to knock him out of the game. We get the Kraken, it's just a flesh wound, and well, a surprising game with a surprising end. We do end up losing, but it was still one of the best games I've played in a very long time, both from a tactical standpoint and just an enjoyment standpoint, and even a damage standpoint. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and well, I hope to bring more of these type of videos, maybe a little bit of education with a little bit of fun mixed together. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments, and well, if you liked it, give it a like. If you disliked it, give it a dislike. And even in the chat, I was alt-tabbed at the time, so I didn't even notice I killed him and got the Kraken. And if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing. But until next time, I'll see you all in the next one.